Welcome to another episode of the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast, your weekly dose of news and advice that comes to your pocket every single Saturday. Holding it down, here we got Mac, Mark, Scott, and Landon. Enjoy today's show. Hey guys, welcome back to the second installment of Fantasy Running Back Week. This is the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Mac, and I'm joined by the whole crew today, Mark, Scott, Landon. Now, if you guys are first-timers on the channel, welcome. Consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. About 70% of you that are watching these videos are not subscribed, and we just hit 100 subscribers. I know it's small, but it is a little milestone for us, and we'd like to continue growing that. So consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. You can also get us on social media on Instagram and Twitter at snap_fantasy. All right, enough joking around, enough kidding around here. Who we talking about today? None other than Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns running back, who finds himself in a little bit of a timeshare with a notable figure in Kareem Hunt. Flashback to 2017, Kareem Hunt was an absolute wrecking ball for fantasy purposes for the Kansas City Chiefs. Had some off-field issues, now finds himself with the Browns. Came back last year in Week 10, and we saw a difference in that Browns backfield from that point forward. I'm going to pass this one over to Mark, and he's going to detail for us some nuggets that he found about this backfield.
Yeah, so first things first, Nick Chubb is easily one of my favorite backs to watch in the league right now. He's slippery, he's fast, he breaks tackles, he gets outside. He's just a really overall great player. And it's for that reason that he got, 1,400 yards last year and 8 touchdowns. Like, he is a tough guy to stop. And you got to also consider that it was a workhorse role for the first half of the season for him. Kareem Hunt came in, things kind of changed. We also really like the electricity that Kareem Hunt brings to the table too. So just a little nugget for you guys here. Nick Chubb with Kareem Hunt on the field averaged 13 point per reception points per game. And that was a 6.8% target share average per game. And now without Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb was averaging 18.9 PPR points per game and had an 11.8% target share. So you can see the kind of difference that the mentality of that offense takes with those two backs active. For me, just looking at the 112 ADP that Nick Chubb is going into redrafts with, that's too high of a price tag for me. I love his talent, but the Cleveland offense has been one of those things that's overhyped to the point of extreme doubt for me. So I can't look at this guy and think it would be worth it when we know that Kareem Hunt could very well have a fully active season and take away from that share. So, Landon, did you want to build off what I said there?
Mark, you are right in my brain. You and I are right on the same train of thought here. Kareem Hunt is an electric running back. He proved that, like Mackenzie said, in Kansas City. And now this year they have a full offseason to develop the chemistry, develop a game plan to get both of these guys involved. I think that's going to very much hurt fantasy production for both guys. We see this Cleveland Brown offense with adding Hooper, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, you have Kareem Hunt. That's one of the most dangerous receiving cores in the league, and I think they're all going to get a share, and I think that's going to hurt Nick Chubb's fantasy value in 2020. You guys are basically right up my alley. When Kareem Hunt came back, he commanded around 8-9 targets to start off with. He had a couple down games, but if you have that kind of target share and a full season with the Cleveland Browns, that is going to really hurt the value for Nick Chubb. Like you said, Mark, I agree. Nick Chubb was one of my favorite running backs. I remember an interview with Saquon Barkley because he was the most electric generational talent running back coming out, and he was asked which other rookie running back was your favorite to see and watch during the combine, and he said Nick Chubb. So it's too bad for Nick Chubb owners, But Scotty, you have a little bit of a change of mindset on this backfield, don't you?
I wouldn't call it so much a change of mindset as much as allowing some devil's advocacy in the fantasy world, because I think Mark hit a lot of good points right on the head, but he also said, the Browns offense is overhyped to no end. And I feel like it has been for quite some time, and there is a small chance that people are like yourselves are ready to actually give up on it. I'm going to make a case for the scenario that they actually take all that talent with the addition of Hooper, another year for Baker Mayfield of experience, and actually put it all together this year. So although I will agree that there are a lot of other running backs in that top 3 to 5 tier that I would say have a better narrative, who don't have somebody like Kareem Hunt fighting them actively for touches, I do think that Nick Chubb has a real chance of having a very productive year. And for me, it comes down to the type of play style that each running backs have. I'll admit, they're both Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, both 5'11", between 217 and 230 pounds, kind of carbon copies physically, but their play styles could not be more different. I think it's been clearly established that Nick Chubb is the bell cow running back that they are hitching their wagon to, and Kareem Hunt has that explosive speed and the pass catching ability. But much like a Dion Lewis, Derrick Henry scenario, I don't think that means one necessarily has to interfere with the other forever. This year could be a little rocky, but Kareem Hunt still also irks me a little bit based on his personal issues. And I think as a franchise, if you were going to really push one player, I think Nick Chubb will come out the winner in the long run. So in Dynasty, if you can get your hands on Nick Chubb, I would be a big fan of that move. Redraft, I will admit it could be a slippery start to the season as the two are jockeying for position, but I still think if this offense really puts it all together and they're winning going into the fourth quarter in the majority of games, I think they'll be handing the rock to Nick Chubb to win the game, not looking for Kareem Hunt consistently. So there is risk involved. I will acknowledge that, but I think it is way too early to write off the talent of Nick Chubb just because he has a once suspended talent sharing the backfield. Mac, what do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, not to say I ever discounted what Nick Chubb was capable of, but we all knew last year that he had basically a 10-week hall pass to kind of do whatever he wanted, the full keys to the backfield, and he was sensational. But you can't deny the impact that Kareem Hunt had once he came back in those final weeks 10 through, 16, because we don't play week 17. Weeks 10 through 16, Kareem Hunt averaged 1.6 fantasy points per touch, compared to, in the same time frame, Nick Chubb 0.82 fantasy points per touch. So I will agree that the opportunity for Nick Chubb should still remain high. He should get those first and second down looks, but Kareem Hunt is a special talent, and he's proven over the last little bit he can take care of himself off the field. You can't deny what he does on the field. So for me, I'm going to get about a 5-round to 6-round discount depending on your league. I think I would be really, really happy with having Kareem Hunt as my running back 3 or 4, somebody I can flex on a week-to-week basis, as opposed to going all in on Nick Chubb and potentially having Kareem Hunt really eat into that workload for Nick Chubb. So going forward, I think that the first round price tag for Nick Chubb is potentially just too high for me. And in 2020, I'm going to look elsewhere at the top end running back talents. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I like it. Right now, Kareem Hunt is going in the late 6th round, right around the same average draft position as David Johnson of the Houston Texans. That's an interesting little conversation. You got to assume that David Johnson has more fantasy value, but right now it's hard to say. Sony Michel is also plummeted at the 705, but that's a conversation for another running back week anyways.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I hope you guys really enjoyed that installment of Running Back Week. We've got one more left to do, and we're going to be focused on Joe Mixon next, which there's some hot takes that I think are ready to come out for you guys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this and you want to stay tuned to the next one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. You can also hit the bell if you're so inclined. Leave us a comment down below. Where would you take Nick Chubb next year? Are you afraid of Kareem Hunt or not? Let us know below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.